Hey, what's really going on? Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Litecoin, LTC, against USDT. We're going to be assessing some of these key technical aspects of price action moving forward. We're going to be looking for some of the pivotal areas of support and resistance I believe we're going to be interacting with in the very near future here. Let me know in the comments down below. Is it bullish? You bearish? Do you trade? Do you hold? Or do you let the price action unfold? What are you doing with your bag? If you have one, are you accumulating in these lows? Are you buying these dips? Do you think we found support? We're going to plow through all this overhead resistance, get back to the $300, $400 that we came from in the not so distant past. Or are you bearish on price action? Do you believe support has yet to be found? We're going to plow through all these key levels, head straight to zero. What are your thoughts on the direction of Litecoin? Let me know in the comments down below. Jumping right into it. To kind of recap, price action that has interacted with this very key range of sideways that has broken out of and then returned to. I do believe this key zone to consider is going to be support around $116 per Litecoin. Is going to be a key level to consider as support, and resistance overhead is going to be the $177 level. This is a range that we see price action kind of entering and getting slapped around between for a good amount of days here, between kind of the 19th of December of 2020 all the way to the 9th of February of 2021. We have price action interacting with the $116 level as resistance briefly, to find its way above it. Get set those higher highs, interact with that resistance near 177, only to get slapped down to and return to that $116 level to solidify it as support. Interaction with this 177 level yet again, we plow through it, set some higher highs, and then kind of return to it as support kind of thing. So multiple examples of Litecoin breaking through resistance and then returning to it as support to solidify its kind of uptrend. And ultimately we were looking very bullish, setting these higher highs, plowing through resistance, coming back to it as support, rinse repeat up until the dreaded change in momentum in the crypto sphere here, sending us plummeting through all of this beautiful support that we had kind of just solidified. Price action between the dreaded 19th of May and the 14th of June of this year, interacting with that $177 level, kind of failing to hold above it, but trying to in a very bullish manner. But ultimately, resistance was confirmed, I do believe, on the kind of 14th and 15th of June of this year, sending price action toward that 116. So definitely lots going on with these kind of key moves at the moment. We're trapped in between a kind of key range that we've been trapped in kind of before. So we will have to see just how bullish we can be if we can get above that $177 level and confirm it as support and return to that kind of multi-$100 kind of level that we came from in the not so distant past. Now price action and a pivotal state, a new perspective comes into play when we consider EngineeringRobo along with the fettuccine lines of zucchinis. We can see price action currently supported by the buy 4, showing that buy pressure and the bulls are present. Price action trapped in this range of sideways, currently correlating with these very key Fibonacci levels. The 0.382 Fibonacci level there at $172, just below my $177 resistance, suggesting significant sell pressure near this range. Further suggesting that we could have perhaps some continued short-term sideways or downside or rejections off of it. We will likely have to get above it and confirm it as support. Further resistance just above that is the underside of this 200 daily moving average that will likely give us a hard time as well. I suspect Litecoin, if we can enter this range, we might spend a couple days, perhaps a week, kind of interacting with $177 along with the underside of that 200 daily before we can kind of solidify the kind of continued direction there. Currently looking very bullish in my opinion, coming out of some very perhaps necessary healthy technical downside. We were looking very bullish up until that dreaded change in momentum on the 19th of May there. That sell 4 on the 16th of May, saving you from that plummeting price action plummeting through all the way to where we currently are. So we do have that buy 4 coming into play on the 26th of July. Giving us hope in the kind of short term here. I do suspect we will likely have the momentum to get above this 0.382 Fibonacci line to get into this tight range of sideways, but we could very much get rejected and re-interact with the $115 level. That's 0.236. So price action definitely in a critical state. In the long term, I do believe Litecoin is quite bullish, and this was a great phase of accumulation before we see some pretty euphoric newer kind of highs in the kind of near future here. Price action currently trapped in a range of sideways approaching resistance. So we will have to see how these next few daily candles kind of close to kind of further be certain on the short-term directions of Litecoin. We could very much have a pullback and interact with some kind of support at these lower levels, or we could very well spike above it and consolidate sideways in a more bullish manner before seeing the euphoric kind of highs yet again. Definitely lots going on for Litecoin at the moment against USDT, but if we swap over to Litecoin against Bitcoin, what do we have here? Price action in a bit of a similar scenario in terms of price action approaching resistance, in my opinion. We have my resistance level there at 37.22 Satoshi, suggesting price action is approaching some sell pressure, and it could take a few days to get above it and perhaps confirm it as support before we can get into these higher levels here. We have the 0.786 Fibonacci line at 42.80 Satoshi, giving us a hard time once we get up there, I'm sure. Currently just above that 200 daily moving average, which will be suggested sell pressure as well once we get to that underside of it. I also have a resistance line at 41.30 Satoshi waiting to give us a hard time as well. So there definitely is a bunch of overhead resistance that we will have to get to and through before we can get kind of more comfortably bullish on Litecoin. Price action below the 200 daily and this sell for still against the price of Bitcoin does suggest that we could very well experience some short-term downside or some sell pressure against the kind of volatility of Bitcoin. On the kind of bullish perspective, we are interacting with, in my opinion, what appears to be support. There is very significant buy pressure below my resistance level at 37.24 Satoshi. We did kind of bottom out and establish the bottom of this Fibonacci range on the kind of 11th of March all the way to the 5th of April of this year. We have price action plummeting to these lows but getting overall very bullishly kind of bought up. We even have that buy 4 on the 5th of April of 2021 supporting all of this bullish euphoric price action to up to the 6,700 Satoshi level. So definitely price action in a very critical state. Technically still a sell for present. We are below the 200 daily moving average and we are approaching resistance. So there's definitely a lot of reasons to be fearful, uncertain, and doubtful of the current short-term direction of Litecoin. On the bullish perspective, I do believe we are just bouncing off of a key support. So as I mentioned, we will have to see just how these next couple daily candles interact with these current approaching kind of key levels. We will have to see just how significant this resistance can be overall. I do believe Litecoin is quite bullish and is a good long-term hold, and we will likely see some euphoric kind of highs here above the 200 daily moving average, and we can get more comfortably bullish kind of once we are above that range. Ultimately, Litecoin in a very critical state. We'll have to see how these next daily candles unfold. But if we switch over to Bitcoin, what do we have here? We have price action stretching above that 200 daily moving average, coming back to it, interacting with it, bouncing off of it. So we are experiencing some buy pressure off of the top side of it, which is very bullish in my opinion. This daily candle has not closed yet, so we will have to solidify the support once some daily candles start closing and opening, in my opinion. A daily candle that can open and close fully above this 200 daily moving average would be a more bullish sign of support at that level, and we can get more comfortably bullish on Bitcoin in the short term. In my opinion, this is a very bullish and almost vertical kind of recovery in a very kind of short amount of time. These last couple weeks have been very bullish for Bitcoin, following the several months of downside that we just came out of. We do have that buy 4 on the 24th of July, and that breakout from the 0.5 Fibonacci level, $34,300 per Bitcoin, is a very key level still, in my opinion. The 0.618 Fibonacci line there at $41,500 per Bitcoin. We experienced that significant resistance on the sort of 30th of July there all the way into the beginning of August. Had a brief retracement reaching toward that 0.5 level, but very bullishly finding support within the kind of 37K. And here we are above the 0.618, above the 200 daily moving average, and attempting to find support above it. So Bitcoin has some very bullish factors in play that we haven't had for the kind of past few months. We have recovered in a very, very bullish manner through all that downside. Here we are looking to get toward all-time highs again. In my opinion, this is a very bullish price action that will likely be met with a retracement similar to the kind of beginning of August there. a few $1,000 pullback, $10,000 pullback perhaps might be necessary for this kind of like upward movement to continue. What goes up this vertically, I believe is met with just as volatile kind of pullbacks. We do have some overhead resistance approaching at 48K. It's going to be some sell pressure. The 0.786 line at $51,700 per Bitcoin is going to give us a hard time as well. In addition to near the all-time highs there, we have like 57K. And then the 60K kind of psychological sort of level. So there definitely is some key levels of resistance approaching before we get to previous all-time highs and then some. Ultimately, Bitcoin is looking kind of more bullish than it has been recently, and could very much have the momentum to kind of continue it forward. All of this downside, this all of this technical bearish consolidation and short-term sort of like downside toward these kind of key levels, these key lows after some very euphoric all-time highs, do believe was very healthy for the uptrend in the long term, in my opinion, and was very much necessary for the uptrend to continue. During all this downside, Bitcoin was still looking very bullish. The overall demand for Bitcoin kind of never left, even through all this, sort of bearish downside here. Had some very bullish bounces off of a very key level, and we appear to be on the kind of like up and up back to where we were. Price action still in a very volatile state, approaching resistance, looking to find support at every chance it gets, by the dip, if you will. Price action, there's never a bad time to buy Bitcoin, only better. Currently, price action is in a very volatile state, so there might be some, upside and downside in the short term here before we can kind of solidify ourselves. But ultimately, in the long term, I do believe this would be a great time to be buying Bitcoin. Now, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hearing my analysis. Try EngineeringRobo with a link in the description. Subscribe here on YouTube. Check out all the other social media down below. Let me know in the comment section. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? What are your thoughts on this, recent volatility? All of that downside to all of this upside. Do you think this is just a bull trap? Are we heading, straight to zero, flying through all this potential support? Or is, six figures around the corner? We're going to head to $1 million per Bitcoin. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thank you for tuning in, and tune in for the next one.